Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to PhotoBiz Live. This is Joanne with the PhotoBiz team, and today we're joined by Rod Evans for a webinar about strategies for the senior market. This high-energy program is packed with information that'll get your creative juices flowing, including social media strategies, online bookings, fashion lighting, and extreme sports images. In addition to getting the opportunity to learn with Rod in today's webinar, we'll also have a question and answer session at the end of the webinar, and you can submit your questions using the chat tool or join in the discussion on Twitter by using the hashtag PhotoBizLive. If at any point during today's webinar you have any difficulty hearing the speaker or seeing the slides, please use the comment box and let us know. We'll also be recording this webinar, and it'll be available for replay on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/photobiz. With that all being said, I'll turn things over to Rod.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it, and I'm excited to share what we've been doing at our studio this year and some things that have been working for us to book more seniors. So again, thank you for having me. I'm from, just give you a quick brief history on me and then we'll move on. I live in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and yes, it's very, very cold here today and will continue to be cold where we live. So I'm in a city of about 150,000 people. I've been a photographer now for about almost 20 years now, and this is our studio located in downtown Sioux Falls in an old historic building. I have 4 daughters. This is my wife and my 4 daughters, and so that gives me kind of an advantage when it comes to photographing senior photographs because they make sure that I'm not too nerdy. I'm pretty nerdy, but they try to keep me up to date on what's current, and I watch where they're at and how they use social media and market those things. So they kind of keep me on target. So that's part of my strategic social marketing plan is my family themselves. So now I'm going to just ask you guys some questions, even though you can't answer them. But I'm sure you would say yes to this question, which is, how many would you agree that it's more important than ever to be innovative in the market today? Well, of course it is. You know, with more competition and more avenues for people to do, it's more diverse in the marketing. It's more diverse in the type of images that people see, and in the do-it-yourself generation. So it's more important now to be innovative and different and separate yourself from everybody else. So I'm going to talk about several things today. And hopefully I won't end up doing this, which Abraham Lincoln talks about. It's better to be silent, thoughtful than to speak and remove all doubt, which I may prove today. So if you're here and you want to get more senior business, you want to get better at your social marketing and start booking more seniors today, then that's really what this program is about. And again, along with, because I can't help tie it into the actual photography itself too. So we'll talk about that too, because that is actually a marketing strategy too, of course, is your style or your branding of your photography. So in this call, we'll talk about social strategies on booking people, the online tools that we use to book our clients and our seniors, some automation tools that are very exciting this year that we've been using through a new software program that I'll talk about, and a few lighting diagrams again is what we'll do. So to me, one of the most important rules of marketing, it's important to be first in the marketplace. What I found out is that being first in the marketplace is so important in the perception of your client's mind. So whether it's a style of photography, whether it's a product, whether it's an experience, whatever it is you have that makes you unique, try to be the first in your marketplace, at least perceived to be the first, and you will also be perceived to be the best. You guys think about it. The first man on the moon, who was it? Second, harder. First president, easy. Second, harder. Everything first is easier to remember because you capture that spot in your market's mind. So for us, some things that we've done to keep us to be first in our clients' minds was in our market was to be first to shoot directly to an iPad for our clients. We use the Canon Wi-Fi system, which has a built-in transmitter, a software called Shuttersnitch, and the instructions on how to use it are from, because it is quite an intense process, is from the Gary Box at the universityofbox.com. Has a great tutorial that's worth getting you set up and get you going really fast. So this is one of the things we've done, but over the years it's been many, many things. we were the first to do slideshows in area. I marketed slideshows using Kai's PowerShow even before I even knew Kai's PowerShow existed. We have new products. We do 3D photography, flip books, all these things that show that you're on the cutting edge and you're first in your market to do things. And that's what the senior market is looking for, is branding, and that, like a buckle or something like that, that they're looking for the place that's first in the marketplace. So that's what we're striving for all the time. I love this quote. It talks about embracing frustration. It pushes you to learn and grow. It lights a fire under you when your work has gone cold. Nothing is more dangerous to an artist than complacency. See, this example shows these little fish swimming around in a fish tank. And it's a story about a fish hatchery that was trying to figure out how they were going to make their fish taste fresher. I won't say that too fast too many times. But they couldn't figure out how to do it. And they wanted to beat their competition and make a fresher tasting frozen fish stick. So what did they do? These little fish were just kind of lollygagging around while they were waiting to be frozen and sent off. And so they would get lazy and fat, and the fish just wasn't as fresh because they were just watching some HBO and hanging out waiting to be frozen. Well, what they did is they introduced their natural-born enemy into their fish tank. Well, these fish weren't just sitting around anymore. They were moving. And yes, in the end they died, but that's not really the point. The point is that this company made a better tasting fish stick because of this. I think it's the same thing with us, is that it pushes us to do more, do better, and make more exciting images, and do things that would push us outside of our comfort zone. And I think that's fun as an artist, to be pushed harder and to do more. So I don't want to be stuck and complacent. So just like many of you, I had a first studio, and it's all about location, location, location. Mine was by the penitentiary, so obviously I was doing lots of passport photos for some reason with guys in orange jumpsuits. All kidding aside, we all start somewhere, and so I want you to see that my early work was what it was, needed some help on clothing consultations. These are my children with some complete stranger off the street, dressed up in Santa Claus. My advertising, in the shopping news and places like that. We've moved a long way from there, but it's all about that we start somewhere with our marketing, with what we do, and we have a vision of where we want to be. So it's like this. You have a plan. You begin with the end in mind. And it's going to be the same thing with building your system of getting more representatives into your business, getting more seniors into your business. What is your strategy? What is your system? And brand it all. And I'm going to walk you through our strategy and our system. It's just like this guy here. It was the Olympics in 1968, I believe, in Mexico City. The announcers were like, "What's wrong with this gentleman? He's standing at the line with his eyes closed, just leaning, rocking back and forth, back and forth, back and forth." They're wondering if he was ever going to make his run. He was a long jump runner. And if he was ever going to do it. Well, what was he doing? In his mind, he pictured himself over and over again. I believe it was 7 times. He pictured himself running, jumping, landing, breaking the world record. And he did. He broke the world record that held for almost 23 years in the long jump. Of course, it's Bob Beamon. So it's you doing the same thing. You visualizing where you're going to be, what you're going to do, how far you're going to make your business, visualizing the type of client that's coming into your business, visualizing what the entire strategy of what your social media plan will be, what your marketing plan will be for your business, and then look at the end, look at the results, and have that goal in mind, and then work toward that goal every day. So one of the ways that we're using social media and to build our business is building a profitable model program for a studio. This is just not a freebie program, but there's a benefit to both of you, to the model, to the representative that comes in your studio, and to you as a representative. So it has to be for both of you to be successful. So this was our model team in 2012, and there's about 25, 26 girls here in this image. So if you do just a freebie program, there's no incentive for them to be committed to your business and committed to your studio. We have a $350 buy-in that is applied toward their senior pictures, but that is paid prior to them becoming a representative for our studio. So we know that they're committed. We know that they're going to stay with us and are serious about working with our studio and no one else. And it does talk about that in the contract they have too. So I'm going to walk you through the details of all of that and the follow-through with it. And we just introduced our program. We had believe this, a snow day, of course, here. The weather was so cold that they called off school. So we started that day blitzing this program, and we booked 16 representatives in 4 days. For us, that's pretty good. So obviously we continue to book more since then, but that was pretty good for 4 days. So let me talk to you about how we did that, how we got these reps in. These are real seniors with some of our highest averages, again, because they're early adopters, most excited to come to our studio. And so we want these people. They help build our business. So in our rep program, we actually have a theme every year. We have an application. We blitz the application everywhere. I'll talk about who you accept, what they get, and what you get from them. It's a two-way street, of course. So what you get is a committed senior to your studio. And again, these are our highest spending seniors on average. Your images for your marketing pieces. You get to test new ideas and try new lighting and backgrounds and things like that for the new year. You get testimonials from your models and your representatives for your websites, and buzz on your Facebook, Instagram, and so forth. You get those ambassadors out there working for you, getting more seniors to your business. We'll go through every detail of this. Our theme this year, and was last year too, is everyone is beautiful. So this is something that I truly believe, and I'm sure many of you are in this business because of that. So we believe that everyone is beautiful, and we want to show that in their images and see help them see themselves as they may have never seen themselves before. So we ask them, why do you want to be a representative? And they answer us like, I love the way you guys let the true beauty come out. I feel like if I do this, I will have more confidence in the way I look and will feel better about myself. I love helping others, and I want everyone to know that they're beautiful no matter what. These are the type of people we're looking for to help our studio. A lot of these girls and guys that help us through this program are doing exactly these things, okay? They believe the same things that we do. You know, while these people are called models, they're really like model citizens, model students. We're looking for people that are involved in their community, involved in their school. We ask them what activities they're in, what they do, and people that appreciate great photography. So we're looking for positive, upbeat, involved people. We're not looking for necessarily girls that look like models or want to be models, but people that are more model students. So we talk about that in our application also, which I'll show you, and you can see on our website too at evansimages.com. Now, one of the important things is you've got to make it easy for people to connect with you guys. So for us, an online application is definitely the easiest way for them. They're mobile, they use their cell phones, their thumbs are amazing, so make it easy for them. So there's a couple of things that you can do. Last year we used Wufoo, but really it's $14.95 a month. I found a better solution that's even cheaper that we're using now too. But Wufoo is one example that you can use. The other one that we're using right now is from the websites at the bottom is appnitro.com. And actually you can buy the $49 integration for that. It allows you one install on one of your websites, like a WordPress or some kind of a site that you have access to the back end on. They'll help you upload it, and you have unlimited forms, unlimited entries, PayPal entries. They can actually pay for the model session fee right online, and they'll help you integrate it right into your website if you need that help. So they can do those things for you, and you're done. They can upload their images to it, all that kind of stuff, and that's what we're currently using is that, and it's linked to my PhotoBiz website, obviously, which is so easy to use, by the way. Anyway, at the end I'll talk about how amazing PhotoBiz is because they're like the model of amazing customer service. So here's what we do, is test the application. I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but we actually make multiple applications. They all are identical except for the name of the application. So we have an Instagram application, we have a Facebook application, we have a website application, we have a blog application. We have one when we do Facebook boosts, or when they want to boost a post on Facebook, which I'll talk about. We have an application for that. Even though they're identical, when the senior looks at them, on the back end, I know where my business is coming from. So everyone has a different link, and I use those different links so that I can track and see where these people are coming from. Does that make total sense? Absolutely. You want to know where you're getting where your biggest bang for your buck is. So then what we do is we blitz that application. We put it everywhere on our website, our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter account. We ask our previous year's representatives to get us more representatives. We blog about it. We Facebook post it or boost it, not advertise, but boost. And I'll talk about that. Put it in school newspapers and displays. So to put the app on your website or Facebook for Wufoo, all you do is it's got a permalink or a HTML that you can put on embed right into your website, which is really great to work with PhotoBiz. And here's ours on our website here. It is super easy to do. Just link it up to your Facebook, and you're driving people to this application, driving people more to your website. So here's how we also post it to our Facebook status with a link to it, direct link to it. We do a boost post on Facebook. This is one that we ran just a couple of weeks ago, it looks like. Spent a whole $38. We had 89 photo clicks, 24 link clicks, which is pretty good, and 9 page likes. So that's not bad. So those people actually clicked on our link, went to the application to fill it out. So we sent this out to females that were between the ages of 16 and 17 years old, and by cities that we were targeting for our representatives for our studio. We also make a Facebook private page for our team so we can communicate with them easy. I'll save time for questions at the end, of course. The application is again on the blog. And I love this quote. Most folks are about as happy as they make their minds up to be, by Abraham. He is my favorite quote person. I love the quote that by Abraham Lincoln that says you can't believe everything you read on the internet, Abraham Lincoln. So we also advertise in the school newspapers. So once we do our first blitz on social media, any schools that we're still not getting the number of representatives we want, we'll go out and target those schools and advertise in their schools' newspapers. It's inexpensive, and sometimes we'll even let you do a drop-in card in their newspaper, and they'll stuff it for you for free, which is awesome. So then you get the quality, from a nice postcard that you can insert them, and not necessarily the, sometimes newspaper quality cannot be that great. So sometimes they'll let you do that. It's a really inexpensive way to target your audience. We also do direct mail still. We don't do any contracts in our area, so we still do direct mail pieces to also augment the number of seniors we want to get into our business. So you saw in some of those pieces that we have QR codes on them. We do that because it just makes us look cool, but honestly, I don't think that many people really use them, but it does look nice in the marketing piece. It makes you look like you're trendy and out there, and they look pretty on your website. They're free. You get them from qrcode.kaiwa.com. It's okay to act like a sheep, just so long as you don't act like a cool sheep. Gosh, I'm amazing. So we put that application everywhere. It's really about the blitz, we call it. So everything's in place, everything's ready to go, and you're ready to blitz that campaign out there and create and start getting that buzz going right away. So I'll talk about how we augment that buzz even more and take it to the next level. So here's what they get as a representative for our studio. They get a 30-minute, basically like a test shoot at our studio. They get their images used in our advertising. They get $100 for every referral to our studio. We have model parties and events at our studio just for our representatives. Things like Friends Day, where they bring their friends in to get an experience at our studio to have a headshot taken for Facebook, and it gets them into our studio, gets them to show them around what we do, and hopefully book a session in our studio. We make up all kinds of fun incentives for them to do, like holding up silly signs, for them to do all kinds of different selfies and tag us in them. I think it builds self-esteem and makes it easier for their summer session because they see what it's going to be like, and it builds some confidence in them because of that. We additionally give them 3 images for Facebook and Instagram, and they also get model cards that are basically handout cards that they hand out to their friends, along with an iPhone app too that they can show their friends and book them with that too. So, but in a word, what are they really getting? Well, it's fame. That's really what they're looking for. They want to be, you know, have beautiful images on Facebook and build confidence, and in the face of their peers, see all those things happening. So we can give them that exposure and that fame in our advertising and all the different things that we're doing, as you can see. So we also have a handbook that explains the details of our program to them. And now let me talk about this. Okay, so that's the program, but where do we put it and how do we do it? So, well, I'm most excited about Instagram right now because it pushes, which I'll talk about. It has a lot less drama, so that's pretty awesome. And Instagram is now the most popular photo sharing site among teens ages 12 to 17, which is obviously our target audience. 1 million of them visited the site since last July alone. That's from the Social Media Examiner site. So how do we use Instagram? I'll walk you through the process. I just love Instagram, obviously because it's so photo-driven. So first of all, you create a profile on Instagram just like you do Twitter and Facebook, of course. To get your initial followers, what you can do is you actually can go in and simply go into your settings and start following the people that you follow already on Facebook, and also go into your contacts and follow them. And what happens is people see that you are following them that you're starting to follow them, and they will follow you back typically. So it's a really quick way to start getting a bunch of followers on Instagram that are already, you're engaged on Facebook and through your email or whatever, that you're already engaged with them there. Now they'll start engaging with you on Instagram once they see that you're following them. They'll follow you back. So that's how you start. But after that, I really believe it's just about organically letting it grow. And that's really the best way. Once people see what you're doing, what you're posting, and what they see on there, they'll start following you right away. So we do, and then the cool thing about Instagram, why I like it so much, is that it pushes to my Facebook and Twitter account. So just by doing one thing, I can get an image out to 3 different locations in the social media world. So, and obviously you can tag them here too. So here's what we do. Here's how we use Instagram and Facebook and all of that. So once a representative or model is accepted to our studio, they get a text from us that tells them, and an email from us both that lets them know that they've been accepted, and not to break a blood vessel in their head screaming, just post it. So they take a selfie of themselves, tag it at Evans Elite Model, and we let them know that they'll get 16 free wallets or social media images from their website for helping us out. So they'll put things on there like, so excited to get the opportunity to work with blah, blah, blah. This year, Evans Elite Model with Rod Evans. So they'll tag us, post it in there on Facebook and Instagram. Here's the text message they get. Congratulations on being selected as an Evans Elite Model. Now post that selfie, tag Rod Evans, and start earning credits. So now I'll talk to you about the texting system we're using and how we're using the texting. There's many ways you can do it. I will talk to you about the way that we're doing it, and what's working for us. So we get great feedback this way. So we're getting buzz not just by getting the application showing that. Now we're getting buzz before these girls even come in to have their pictures taken, telling everybody, I'm so excited to come in and have my pictures taken. One of these is on, as you can see, one of these is on Facebook. The other one here is on Twitter. Everyone is somewhere else, somewhere different on the social media world. So while a lot of people are on Instagram and Facebook, many people are on Twitter too. So how do you know where to put your efforts? Well, that's why I like Instagram, because it pushes it everywhere for us is what it does. But we also ask them when they sign up to be a model, we ask them, where are you at in social media, and rank these as far as where you're the most engaged, where do you spend your most time. So we ask them about Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Google+, Vine, Kick, all of those. So we want to know where they're at and what order they feel that they spend the most time at, so we know where we need to be engaging our audience at. And that can be different locally, regionally. That can be different for everyone. So it's a great question to ask your clients. Even, if you have a small questionnaire or an online form, to ask your existing clients where they're spending time at is great. So why be in the social world in the first place? Well, you want to show that your business is approachable, and it's a fun experience for these people to come to your studio, and it engages them and it takes off some of these layers of I'm up here, you're down there kind of thing. It's like, no, we're in this together. We're going to have this great experience together. And so you want to convey that message, or at least that's the message that we want to convey at our studio, is sending that. So we post a lot of behind-the-scene images on our Instagrams, or pushes to everything else. And then we also, after the session, they get an automatic text from us 1 to 2 hours after the photo shoot that says, hey, you just rocked your Evans Elite model shoot. Now tell the world how awesome your experience was. So they go out on their Twitters and Facebooks and Instagrams and do that for us. Thank you, Rod Evans, for an amazing shoot. So much fun. Thanks for teaching me how to squinch. That's another subject, but it's a cool thing to do. So excited to see the pictures you took today. Look at this girl jumping out in front of our studio. She just had her shoot taken. So pre-session, we're getting stuff. During the session, we're getting buzz going, and after the session, we're getting buzz going. So I'm trying to get as much social media buzz going about how much fun these people are having at their sessions. So reps are creating buzz for your business. That's what this is about. Even the moms are getting in on the action. Like this, you did an awesome job, so proud, an amazing job, can't express how well you treated my daughter, you made her feel like a real-life princess. That's really what it's about. So everyone, the parents, the kids, everyone's in on the action, creating buzz for these people, and we're asking them to do it. Just tell us what your experience was like. It's that simple. So do you look approachable? So, are you photobombing? Are you having fun? Is it an enjoyable experience for your seniors doing all those things? So here's another clever thing that we do, is that we also show them picking up their orders at our studio. It's also showing a clever way to show before and after. I got this idea from actually another photographer, John Pyle, who's really good at this. So I think this is a really clever idea. So we have them showing them with large orders, or multiple prints laying all over the place, all that kind of stuff. We don't show them picking up a set of wallets, of course. We want to show them picking up beautiful wall portraits at our studio, and people are like, oh, everybody buys large portraits from the studio. It's like, well, of course. That's just what we do. So it's planting those seeds in your clients' minds too. I think it's a really clever thing you can do. We also make sure that they're connected with us. We have signs in our studio, and we have in our emails and in our contacts, we're also putting this at the bottom of a lot of our communications to our people, so they know that they need to be connected with us and how to do that. So I would encourage you to do the same, of course. Yes, we do get guy representatives. I was just going to show you this. That, a majority of our representatives are girls, but we do get guys too, and guys are great for representatives. Especially the guy moms are great for us. We actually just signed up 2 twin guys. Maybe be representatives this year for us. So guys are great, and guys' moms are even better. They love their sons, and they're just fantastic for your business. So we also have like fun little incentives during the year, and you can make these whatever you want to do. We have if you still need school directories from some of the smaller schools, you can ask them to do that for you. We have events at our studio where they can help us out for either a charity event that we might be having or that Facebook day that we're having. They can help us set up and clean up for that. They get $25 an hour in credit to our studio for doing things like that. Some fun other incentives, we ask them to take a photo of themselves with an I Heart Evans. If they do that, they get 8 free wallets to our studio. So you see all kinds of fun things like that, just little buzz and selfies and cute little contests like that. So social media is just a great place to keep your face in front of your target audience. This is what our representative cards look like. And then we brand it all together. So it's, again, beginning with the end in mind, is make sure that your blog, your Twitter, your website, your YouTube account, everything is branded to look the same. Our cards, our handouts, our mailing pieces, everything looks the same, so when they get it, they know, they've seen this so many times in front of them, they know exactly where it's coming from. And that's what's great about PhotoBiz. You can change your template whenever you feel like it, and brand it and look at and change the colors to match that look for that year that you're doing, and especially in the senior market where you might be changing things a little more often. So it's pretty exciting and really fun. I love this. Or just give it to your mother. She knows what to do. So what happens when you get lots of likes on an image? We actually check when an image is maybe really hot and a lot of people are commenting on it. So we'll go in and check that and see if all those people are following us or not. If some of those aren't, maybe 20 people aren't following us, we'll go in and ask those people to follow us. But remember, these are warm leads. These people have said, hey, I like your pictures, I like your photography, I like this image. So it's not really like a cold contact where I'm just like some weirdo stalker, you know, going, hey, want to be my friend? It's like, no, they contacted me first by saying I like this picture, and so I'm going back and say, well, you know, I just do a friend request and see if they respond or not. So I mean, I'm not going to do 100 at a time. I'm not going to get in trouble by Facebook, and I don't do it very often, but once in a while to add to our database early in the year to get, with those models, to get more and more people following us of the right age and the right year and stuff like that. I'll go in and do a few friend requests now and then, but I don't go overboard. But we do that a little bit to add to our database. And I haven't gotten in trouble because I don't ask 100 people that I don't know to like me or to follow me or anything like that. So we post those images to Facebook, website, and blog again, but we actually schedule it and logo it, of course. So let me show you some of the automation software that we're using. We schedule it for the prime exposure. So judging by my teenage daughters that I have, when are they using Facebook and Instagram and all that all the time? Well, it's always late at night. You know, I'm about ready to go to bed. So when they're really getting rocking on, it really becoming engaged, I should say, more on the social media. So 9, 10 o'clock at night, they're really getting engaged. So you can actually use a software program that will actually schedule for your prime exposure, and we'll target, we'll send to all of your things you do. Like it'll go to your Facebook profile, it'll go to your page, it'll go to your Instagram. I believe it's updated Instagram now, yes. And we'll go to your, you know, Twitter, even your blog, even your YouTube, wherever you want it to go. It will send these scheduled tweets, these scheduled posts out to all the places you want it to go. So you just group them, put a photo in there, say what time and date you want it to go, and boom, it will go out for you. So you can basically could schedule your entire week or 2 weeks of social media by using this program, and then just pepper it every once in a while with more comments and feedback, and all of that is what you can do. It's a great program. You can actually, I think the solo plan works pretty well because you can connect with 8 different services, which should be like Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever social medias you want, and make up to 5 different groups. And it's only $10 a month. It is branded. It does say it comes from Sendable. If you don't want to do that, it's going to cost you more, but you can actually do that also. So if you're finding yourself not finding the time or not wanting to post at 11 o'clock at night on Instagram, this is really a great tool to have a strategic plan that targets your audience when they're the most engaged on social media. Like Sunday evenings are a great time to be engaged with these people too. You may not want to be working and doing it at that time, and if you don't, this is a great alternative to basically hiring someone in a way to do your social media for you when you want it done. So how do I use these images now that I have them? I'm going to use them for my advertising, school newspapers, displays, and direct mail, obviously starting in January. We've already started our program. We first get their testimonials from them, how awesome your studio is. They're going to be handing out your cards by now. They're making posts by now. They're inviting their friends to your Facebook parties, and those testimonials are on your site. So make sure it's easy to connect. How easy is it for your seniors to communicate and connect with you? Well, social media is one way, of course, but we text them and let them know that we're sending them an email because they don't always check their email. So even though, you know, we're using email as one form of communication, we're also texting them to check their email so they know what to do. Like this is an email that goes out before their representative or model shoot. So we also have an online booking strategy. We use an online booking software through Studio Cloud. Sometimes we use live chat, and and have a way of capturing their names also. Our reps this is another great connection to them. They get a phone app. So if they have a smartphone, it has links to our studio. They can easily share for their friends. It looks really cool. And then there's a coupon on there that they can share with their friends that with their image and so forth, they can share with their friends. Their friends come in with their phone and show us that image. With that coupon on it, they get the discount, and their representative gets the referral code for that too. So we get our iPhone app. It works on all smartphones. We get our phone app from this website here, and I can link it somehow or do whatever we need to do. And there's a special if you use this. Evans222, you get $3 off a month, or you can save $39 a year for this software. They're actually adding blogging and video to the phone app too. So it's going to be really cool in the next couple of months, even better than it is now. But we really like it. I've been using it for about a year and a half now. So again, it's one of those things, you're cutting edge, you're first in your marketplace to do it, and you look cool. So looking cool is important. All right, our online booking software is actually same as our software for our studio. We're using studiocloud.com. There's another software, I think there's other ones out there that do this too, I believe. This is the one that works best for us. We're Mac-based. It's a cloud-based studio software that has built-in triggers. So we can build something like this, an online booking software with it, which is included. Sorry, I just threw this in, but all those comments you get on Facebook, we made this awesome poster in our window when you first come into our studio that has we copy and paste a bunch of our great comments we get on Facebook. So when people walk in, they're going, oh, wow, we are in the right place. So it's kind of fun. So remember, social media can be a time sucker. So post and leave. Check it once or twice a day and get out of there, okay? Don't just be watching the Facebook thing. Go, oh, there's another click. Oh, there's another like. Oh, look at Instagram. I got more. Who just said that? Who did? No, 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 no. Your job is to market and get away. Market, get away. Okay, and then just check it maybe once or 2 times a day is all you do. We still do direct mail. And I will get back to the Studio Cloud here in a minute too. We do usually a card, a catalog of some kind, a few different postcards, and we do one that's focused on activities. A lot of like sports images or activity images, ballet, dance, whatever they may be into, and just really trying to create really dramatic images to draw those people in. So we actually do just a mailing that just targets activities. Not that we know who's in or isn't, but the images target activities and show the images we can create for things like that. So use dramatic lighting and lenses, either fisheye, 20 millimeter or low angle, just give it really lots of power to the images. Again, fisheye lenses, wide angles, things like that. We also use a lot of fashion, kind of more glamorous lighting in our images. We find that that's our niche. You need to find what it is for you. We found for us, this is really drives a lot of business to us. I'll give you a couple diagrams of that. This is one using a grid light, and then a couple kickers is what we do. So it's usually about F13 to F16, and a couple of Westcott large egg crates in the background there, and one basically grid light tipped up at a higher angle and gives it a real sharp, edgy kind of look to it. That look can also be used in your sports images, same kind of a thing. A couple kickers and then a grid light just to light the mask of the face basically is what it does. So it has a real powerful, strong, edgy look to it. Again, use sports images again. This time we add some water sometimes. Do make sure to cover your lights, maybe in a clear plastic bag before you start throwing too much water around, not to electrocute yourself or your subjects or ruin your lights. Not that I've ever done that. Another tool that we use for lighting is a ring light. It is just a beautiful tool. It works for everyone, and guys, girls, alone, both. It's a really beautiful tool. We get our ring light from yourptps.com. Again, I've got code for this if you want to save 10%. It's just RodEvans10, and every image we ever shoot with the ring light sells every time. So this light will pay for itself in 1 or 2 shoots. So that ring light does have some funky, interesting catch lights to it, but we do shoot to the iPad so people can see what it's going to look like. We explain how brilliant it makes their eyes and how beautiful it is. It really just opens up those eyes for them. One trick I've learned with using the ring light that's kind of fun is using a 50 millimeter at kind of a high angle. And then at 1.4, it really gives it, because the depth of field is ridiculously tiny, it really gives it kind of that tilt shift look to it. And so like their eyelashes are in focus, and that's about it. Everything else kind of turns to this really beautiful soft mush to it. And they see it on the iPad, so they know exactly what we're talking about, so we don't get resistance later on to it. It's really pretty. I'm going to talk just about a few new things that we're doing at our studio. Obviously, Pinterest is another social media site that's out there. We do some links to show them some ideas of what we like for our clothing ideas on Pinterest. I also have a board of just my senior photography on there. And then I also have secret boards that are just for me, for inspiration and ideas for headshots, for shoots, for posing, whatever. I have secret boards out there that I've created just for my own self that I can refer to for ideas when I'm shooting. So Pinterest is definitely another place you probably want to be. We're doing these really cool grad kits right now. This is just throwing new stuff that we're doing, but basically it's a vinyl banner, frame signature board where their friends sign all around it, and a DVD. So they get, for one price, they get this kit that's great for their graduation parties. So the graduation parties in your area, this is a great add-on product we found, besides their graduation announcements that they're buying in our area. It really works well. We want to get it done, so we organize and put everything into folders and just get everything done that we need to get done. So this is just my system for moving forward all the time. So, and one of the things we do too is, you know, we talk about social marketing, but we want people to work. We don't want them just to, we don't just put 20 images on Facebook of their session because it would just completely destroy your sale. And we don't do that. We actually make them work if they want images on Facebook. So if you take a senior image, we actually, if they post and say, hey, that was an awesome experience, we had a great time, yada, 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 then we will post one image on Facebook for them, but that's it. And then we don't post any more images on Facebook from a real session family otherwise, unless they buy a package or a collection where they've spent enough money to qualify for social media images that they can use. So we want them to buy first, and yeah, we'll do one to tease them possibly if they've said something, but we actually make them work for their images. So in summary, I'm going to say this: get your program started right now, today, and then just get out there and blitz that market. And I've left a little bit of time for questions because I'm sure there'll be some. And I just want to, you know, before we get too many questions, thank PhotoBiz because they're awesome. They've helped me out so much on my website. Not that it's difficult to do, but I have some weird questions once in a while, and they're just like the epitome of how to have customer service. Amazing. So I can't say enough great things about them. I've sent so many people to them, and they're just so easy to use and easy to set up. So yeah, I'm sure if you're using PhotoBiz, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's just ridiculous. So.
Well, thank you, Rod.
So much. I would like to see everybody rock it out. So what can I answer the question?
Well, we do have a couple questions, and thank you for that great presentation here. So let me just go through and see what we got. Okay, Tony had a question, and he said, what does it mean, no contract for seniors?
Well, in some areas, you actually go to the school itself, like on the East and West Coast typically, where you contract to photograph that entire school for the year. So we don't have anything like that where seniors have to have their senior pictures taken by the contract photographer. They can actually have their pictures taken at any studio they want. But in some areas, it's definitely not like that.
Thank you. Oh, excuse me. Thank you. Okay, let's see. Wayne has a question, and he said, I'm sorry, maybe I missed it, but do you give the model $100 cash or credit to the studio?
No, I probably didn't clarify that. You're right. The $100 is actually credit to the studio. So they would get $100 credit to the studio, not cash.
Great, thank you. Let's see. Jake has a question, and he says, it sounds like you use a personal Facebook page rather than a business page because you're sending friend requests. Is that correct?
That is correct. We have both. We have a business page and we have a personal profile both. It's in the social media audience to engage people and to build brand loyalty to a page. It's harder. I'm not saying it can't be done, but it's a more difficult hurdle to get people to actually like a page than it is to respond to a friend request. So even though it's a personal page, it definitely looks like a business page on Facebook. Even though it's a personal one, it has all business on it, really nothing personal. There's really nothing personal at all on my personal Facebook profile. It's all business. It's kind of like if you were, an official or something like that. I don't know. It's like it has that feel to it. So there's nothing really personal on that site. Everything is very business-like. So I try to push them over to the other one, of course, once they've friended us. But we definitely have a lot more connectivity with a personal site than we do another. So I hope that answers your question.
Great, thank you. Okay, Susan asks, what is a Facebook party?
So a Facebook party is really fun. So what we do is we have our models and we invite their friends. They can invite up to 3 of their friends that are, depends on what time of year we do it. If it's early in the year, invite, like if it's right now in January, February, March, they can invite 3 or 4 of their friends that are going to be seniors in the class of 2015 to come to our studio and have a Facebook party. So we will create one image for them that they can post, and we'll post on Facebook and tag them. And then so we have, snacks and food and, all that kind of fun stuff that people like to do. They get dressed up and have their pictures taken here, and then we'll post that image on Facebook. It gives them a little taste of the experience here, what it's going to be like. We'll have fashion win and fun, all that kind of stuff. And we'll have our brochures and things like that too. And hopefully they'll see that, and then they'll end up becoming a real senior with us and booking a session with us. So it's just a little get-together, a little party that we'll throw a couple different times a year where they invite their friends that are possible seniors to our studio. So future clients, hopefully.
Thank you. Okay, Bonnie has a question, and she says, all of the social media promoting is making my head spin. How does an old girl like me keep up?
That's a great question, because I'm no spring chicken myself, okay? But I think once you understand, like for example, Instagram and Facebook are going to be your 2 main places you're going to spend. You focus on, like, ask your clients where they're at. Get that information. Once you know that, spend your time focusing on those areas, and then hopefully one of those is Instagram, and that will allow it to push to your other places. So really spend your energy on at first on where they are at, and you can smatter and use the other ones once in a while. For example, we use Google+, but not as much as we use everything else. We use Google+ because we know that it helps our SEO on our website, but it's not necessarily where my clients are at, And so I'm not going to spend as much of my energy there. I know I'm going to spend a little bit of time, but not as much time there. So figure out where your audience is at, and then spend your energy and your time there is what you do. And learning that process. But honestly, I feel like blitzing is one of the better things that you can do. If you can hit social media at the prime times when they're there and kind of blitz so you're like in their face at that time, make a post, 10 minutes later another post, 20 minutes later another post, an hour later another post, that kind of blitzing, not the exact same post obviously, that looks creepy and weird, but similar posts or mix it up with different images, so you're kind of running through their news feed, you're going to catch their attention. I think that's a fairly effective way of doing it too. So you can do that like that once or twice a week, and you don't have to be there every single day.
Great, thank you. I think we might have lost him. Let's see if we can get him back here. Hang on just a sec.
All right, I hear him back.
Oh, there you go.
I even thought, I could tell I was gone. Okay. One thing that I didn't answer, I didn't clarify too much, which is automation. We use a software program called Studio Cloud. Again, there's probably other softwares that do this too, but this automation software in Studio Cloud has built-in triggers. And what it allows us to do is that when someone, for example, books a model session, a trigger goes out that sends a text message to that person saying, hey, we're excited about your session. The session's on this date and time. Hey, your session's in 24 hours. Take a selfie and tell people how excited you are. 1 to 2 hours after their session, it sends them another text. It says, hey, tell the world about how awesome this was. Then 3 days later, sends them a thank you. 2 weeks later, sends them another text, say, check your email. We've got some ideas on how you can book more representatives for our student, earn more credit for us. Boom, do that. And then it sends them an email. It has once you build that system into place, that helps too in your social media too, because you're not having to do all the social media marketing yourself. Your clients are helping you do it too. So building a system that has triggers in it like that, or having a software that allows you to have triggers in it that are continually sending messages to your clients, emails and texts, to get them out there working your social media website or arena for you also. Additionally, will help you build that audience.
Great, thank you. Had a couple of people ask if they could confirm the website for the ring lights, because they said they went to what they thought you had on the screen and it was a different portrait studio.
Well, how about that? You may have changed it since I did this. Okay, I will get you a new link. I will call him to get a new link for you, because it might be, I might have it wrong.
Okay, no problem. We'll send it out with the upload link.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. You must have changed it.
Okay, let's see. Jake's got a question, and he says, how do you price your digital files, and how does that impact your print sales?
Okay, so this question is very complex, actually, and I'm really glad you asked it. So there's a couple different things. So this could be a webinar in itself, to be honest with you. But I'll try to be as concise and answer your question and not evade it by any means, okay? So don't understand that I'm doing that. So if you buy a collection with us of prints of X amount of dollars at a high enough dollar amount, we will include in that order 2 or 3 images that you can use on Facebook because you've spent X amount of dollars with us. So that we're using it as a carrot to get them to a higher level of spending with us. The images are small. They are embedded with our logo, of course, on them, and we're the ones that put them up for them. So we're not actually just handing them the files. So we're really using it as a carrot to get their sales up. So if you're finding your average is, $1,000, but you want it to be $1,500, and this will help you get it to that number, then that's how we're using that as a tool that way. So there is a pricing structure if you want to buy all your files from us, but again, that's a whole webinar in itself. So, and I would love to talk about that, but it's huge. It's like very complex. It's very huge. It's expensive, and it's typically the price of that is as much or typically more than what they would spend on print prices from us. Does that help? I hope.
Okay, let's see. Thank you for that. Let's see.
I could spend an hour on that. Sorry.
Okay, Beth says, how do you drive seniors to your business where there's a bigger business that is contracted and almost a requirement by the school, and then they take your headshots for the yearbook as well as offering studio model shots?
Exactly. Yeah, fortunately, I do not have that issue in my area at all. So if I did have that in my area, for me, it would definitely be about what are they doing and then find out what they're doing and then do exactly the opposite. So for example, if they're just offering studio images, then show a lot of outdoor, show a lot of really dramatic images with skies and clouds or locations that they can't create. Feel it like those, like for example, for us, the sports images are really unique from what other people are doing in our area, and the activities images and so forth are different than what they're doing in their area. So you can maybe just promote activities. And what are you into? What is your passion? That's one of our direct mailing pieces that we do. What's your passion? And create images, things that they're passionate about, and create images that really tell their story about who they are as a senior. Because the images that they may be getting from the contract school are going to be the same background, the same look, and similar poses. And what you can do is show their personality and their uniqueness and tell their story and maybe make that your selling point that they may not be able to do.
Great, thank you. Okay, Kathy had a question about the Facebook pages again. She said her photography business is attached to her personal Facebook page as a page. Would you suggest the business be a separate Facebook account?
No, I think that's great. Yeah, that's how I do mine too. I have the two connected like that. I think that's just fine to connect the business and the personal together. Reminder, long as your personal page or your personal profile on Facebook is business-like, and it has a business feel to it, I think that's totally fine. If you're not doing that, and let's say your Facebook is more personal than it is business, then you can actually change your settings, of course, on your Facebook so that what's public on your Facebook personal profile is all business-like, and then all the personal stuff is just going to a group of people that are your close friends and family that are seeing the rest of your stuff on your Facebook. So you could set up your Facebook personal profile that way too.
Great, thank you. Okay, Rob says, how do you get your senior names for the direct mailers?
Well, there's a couple different ways. We're fortunate enough in my area that our public schools will actually sell them to us. We actually go to, you don't go to the secretary, you actually go to the head of the school itself and get the list from them, and they actually sell it to us. I know that's not true in every area that happens, and you can't do that. And we can't do that with all the schools. There's only a couple of schools we can actually do that with. So what we try to do is have our representatives that we get help us obtain the lists, is what they do. So they'll go around and collect names and emails or buzz books or whatever and get that information for us.
Great, thank you. Okay, Randy has a question, and he says, are you concerned about Facebook's photography policies? Do you post images on Facebook or only on a linked blog?
I know. It's, you know what, I don't get too caught up in that. I know exactly what you're talking about, that the whole copyright, them using your images, that kind of thing. You know, I actually just don't get too wrapped up in that too much. I don't let that get to me too much. It's a tool for my business to get more business in. So a majority of my images do come from Instagram over to Facebook, and everything that I put on there is logoed quite large on there. So I feel some of those offer me a little bit of protection. I know it's not 100% all of that, but I try not to let it prevent me from using this as a tool, I guess. So what I was going to say, though, is you can buy a list from like American Student List too, and it may not be 100% accurate, but it's still better to have a list that's 65% accurate than not have a list at all. So we have definitely done that in the past too, has bought our list.
Great, thank you. Okay, Kathy was asking, you mentioned Sunday evenings. Are there other times and days that are great for blitzing?
Well, I think it's kind of like a Sunday evening again. It's like a holiday evening is also another good time. I do a lot of testing. So I do put images out there, and then I watch how fast, you know what I mean, we get responses or how engaged people are on our work. And we test different methods, you know, pushing it from Instagram, putting it directly from onto Facebook, or pushing it from Instagram, or going directly to Twitter, or pushing it. You know, I look at all those different things of doing that. What I was going to say is that engagement-wise, Instagram is as much or more engaging than Facebook is right now. We are definitely seeing a migration of seniors going to Instagram and migrating away from Facebook as far as engagement goes. They're not leaving it completely by any means, but it's not the cool new hip thing anymore. Instagram, you know, Snapchat, Kick, Vine, all those things are, you know, so they're being pulled in a lot of different directions. But so if you're not doing Instagram yet, that would be one of my first suggestions to do, is start building your Instagram audience.
Awesome, thank you. See, Jacqueline asks, if you do family sessions, do you use the same call to action for family sessions? In other words, do you tell adults to take selfies?
Well, that's a cool idea, but I'm not. I think that would be really fun. I don't see any reason why you couldn't do it. We're definitely finding that audience, what you're talking about, the family audience, the mom audience, is more on Facebook. And so I definitely can see that those type of things would really work well for that generation of using Facebook, even more than Instagram, actually, probably, for that type of promotion and buzz. That's an excellent idea. There's no reason it wouldn't work.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, we got time for one more question. So Rob asks, how do you get reps from schools that you haven't had any in before?
That's an awesome question. Okay, so that's what we're doing right now. So oh, yeah, I just go for it, okay? So here's what we're going to do. So if that school has a newspaper, we're going to advertise in it, okay? Is first and foremost what we're going to do. We're going to go ask our reps if they know anybody from that school that they might be able to get for us to come to to come to our studio. So we'll get some warm leads. They'll give us some names or information of people that are possibilities. We'll follow that up with a phone call and say that, hey, we'll first follow it up with a Facebook message or an email and say, hey, you were referred to us by so-and-so that said you might be a great possibility as a candidate for a representative or model for a studio because you're involved in activities and so forth. If you're interested, here's the application to fill out. If they don't fill it out, we'll call them and say, hey, we would love to have you represent our studio. Here's the application. Here's how it works. If you're interested, please fill this out. So we'll follow it up with that is what we'll do. So we will blitz that, whatever I can to get into that school. If it's a big school and it's one that I really want to be in and so forth. I mean, if it's a small school and it's not, I'm going to focus on 5 or 6 major schools is what I'm going to do and hopefully get other surrounding schools, but I'm not going to, unless it's a big school where there's a lot of seniors in it, I'm not going to spend too much time and too much effort where it's detracting me from marketing and getting business from those bigger schools. I hope that helps.
Great. Well, thank you very much. And thank you, everyone, for all the great questions. And Rod, thank you so much for taking the time to present all this great information for us today. A recording of today's webinar will be posted on the PhotoBiz YouTube channel at youtube.com/PhotoBiz. Also, be sure to check out our blog and watch your email for updates about future webinars. Our next webinar will be next Tuesday, January 28th with me, and I'm going to talk about domain names, how they work, how to manage them, and what they can do for your website. Thank you again, Rod, for taking the time with us today.
Thank you so much, everyone.
And thanks everyone else for attending. This concludes our episode of PhotoBiz Live. Have a great day, everyone.